When smartphones were still a dream, gadgets with a single purpose felt like pure magic. Pocket games, talking calculators, and instant cameras made us believe we were holding the future in our hands. Let's rewind to a time when technology was simpler, but somehow far more exciting. Before smartphones took over our lives, the Walkman was the ultimate symbol of cool. You could slip it into your pocket, pop on those foam-covered headphones, and suddenly, the whole world faded away. The soft hiss of the cassette, the satisfying click of the play button, and the thrill of hearing your favorite mixtape made every bus ride or walk home feel cinematic. It was personal, private, and powerful. For the first time, music was yours to carry. And even though those tangled cords and endless battery swaps were a hassle, none of it mattered. The Walkman made every beat feel alive. But as the tapes started to wear thin, a new way to listen was about to spin into the spotlight. When the Discman arrived, it felt like stepping into the future. No more rewinding or flipping tapes, just perfect digital sound in the palm of your hand. The shiny CDs looked like something from outer space, and owning one made you feel fancy. But there was a catch. Every bump or shake would skip your favorite song. Still, those long road trips or late-night listening sessions felt magical. The Discman turned music into a statement, and while we were busy skipping tracks, another gadget was quietly changing how we played altogether. Then came the Game Boy, the handheld revolution that made waiting rooms and car rides way more exciting. It did not matter if you were stacking blocks in Tetris or saving the world in Pokémon. This tiny device created an entire universe in your hands. The green-tinted screen, the clunky buttons, the endless supply of AA batteries. It was all part of the charm. The Game Boy was not just a toy, it was a social bond. Friends traded cartridges, swapped strategies, and compared scores like badges of honor. But while the Game Boy captured our attention, another gadget was capturing our memories in a totally new way. Before selfies, filters, or cloud storage, there was the Polaroid camera, a magical little box that made moments appear right before your eyes. You would press the button, and out came a photo you could hold, wave, and watch develop in real time. Each shot was unique. No retakes, no edits, just one chance to get it right. The slightly faded colors and soft blur gave every image a warm, nostalgic glow. Polaroids filled scrapbooks, lockers, and wallets, freezing life's moments with a simple click. But while we were capturing memories on film, another gadget was helping people organize every detail of their lives. The Palm Pilot looked like something out of a science fiction movie. With its tiny stylus and pixelated screen, it was the first glimpse of what digital organization could be. You could store contacts, write notes, schedule your day, and feel like a high-tech executive, even if you were just keeping track of homework. It was simple, smart, and strangely satisfying. The Palm Pilot gave people a sense of control in a world just starting to go digital. But while it helped us stay organized, another device was about to redefine what it meant to stay connected. Before texting or instant messaging, there was the pager, the tiny device that made you feel important every time it buzzed. Doctors had them, business people relied on them, and eventually, teens wanted them too. It was the first taste of constant connection, even if it meant running to the nearest payphone to call back. Seeing that little number flash on the screen felt mysterious. Was it a friend, your parents, or something urgent? Custom codes and secret messages made pagers feel personal. It was the original notification alert long before smartphones stole the show. But while pagers kept us connected, another pocket-sized obsession was teaching kids responsibility in the weirdest way possible. Enter the Tamagotchi, the digital pet that demanded constant attention. You had to feed it, clean up after it, and keep it happy, or face the heartbreak of watching it die. For a generation of kids, it was a crash course in digital responsibility. The beeping alerts, the pixelated little creature, and the constant need to check it during class made it impossible to ignore. Everyone had one clipped to their backpack or hidden in their desk. It was cute chaos at its finest. But while kids were glued to their tiny pets, another gadget was helping them actually learn through sound and spelling. Before educational apps and tablets, there was the Speak and Spell. That bright orange device felt like holding the future in your hands. With its robotic voice and glowing letter buttons, it made learning to spell feel like a game from another planet. You could play word challenges, practice pronunciation, and even laugh at the strange computerized tone that mispronounced half the words. It was weird, fun, and unforgettable. The Speak and Spell was one of those rare gadgets that made education entertaining. But while it taught kids about words, another device was helping families record their memories, one tape at a time. The VHS camcorder was a marvel of its era. A big, clunky, shoulder-mounted camera that made every parent feel like a filmmaker. Family reunions, birthdays, school plays, all immortalized on grainy VHS tapes. You could hear the faint whir of the tape rolling as your dad whispered, "Is it recording?" before capturing hours of shaky footage. Watching those home videos later became a family event, complete with laughter and cringe-worthy moments. Every awkward hug or dance recital lived forever on tape. But while the camcorder brought movies home, another gadget was shrinking the television experience to something you could actually hold. Sony's Watchman was like science fiction come to life. A pocket-sized television with a tiny black and white screen. You could watch the news, sports, or your favorite show anywhere, as long as you were willing to deal with fuzzy reception and extend that little antenna to the sky. It was the ultimate novelty, a sign that the future had arrived. Sitting in a park watching TV felt surreal, even if you could barely make out the picture. It was small, strange, and surprisingly powerful. But just as the Watchman tried to miniaturize television, another oversized gadget promised to revolutionize how we watched movies at home. Laserdisc was supposed to be the future of home entertainment, and for a short time, it truly felt that way. Those massive shiny discs looked like something straight out of a spaceship, promising movie theater quality right in your living room. The picture was crisp, the sound was clear, and owning one made you feel like a serious film buff. But they were expensive, fragile, and about the size of a vinyl record. Definitely not portable. Still, popping in a Laserdisc felt like a luxury experience, even if it meant flipping sides halfway through the movie. It was futuristic, but a little too far ahead of its time. And while Laserdisc aimed to upgrade our movie nights, another gadget was changing the way we played, and it all started with one joystick. The Atari 2600 was where home gaming truly began. Suddenly, you did not have to go to the arcade to chase high scores. You could do it in your living room. Games like Space Invaders and Pitfall defined an entire generation of fun. The chunky cartridges, the wooden console design, and that single-button joystick made everything simple, yet thrilling. Every pixel mattered, and every beat felt like victory. Families gathered around old tube TVs for hours of pixelated adventure. Atari turned homes into arcades and players into pioneers. But while games were entertaining, another gadget was teaching people how to make computers part of everyday life. The Commodore 64 was not just a computer. It was a revolution that made programming and gaming accessible to millions. With its chunky keys and bright blue startup screen, it opened the door to a new digital world. You could play games, write code, or even use it for homework if you were creative enough to convince your parents. It was powerful, affordable, and oddly lovable. The distinctive loading sounds and the flashing colors on the screen became part of the experience. The Commodore 64 proved that technology could live right in the home. But while it brought computing to families, another device turned classrooms into math labs. For students in the 1990s, nothing felt more high-tech than the TI-83 calculator. It was big, chunky and surprisingly capable. Beyond simple equations, you could graph curves, program tiny games, and even message your friends in secret during math class. It was the unsung hero of teenage rebellion and productivity. Owning one made you feel unstoppable, like a math wizard with superpowers. The TI-83 turned numbers into something visual and interactive. But while it was helping students survive algebra, another gadget was turning video games into a full-body experience. The Nintendo Power Glove looked like it was ripped straight out of a science fiction movie. It promised control through movement, letting players swing their hands to guide on-screen action. It looked incredible until you actually tried using it. The glove barely worked, but that did not matter. Wearing it made you feel like the future was here. It was clunky, awkward, and way ahead of its time, but unforgettable all the same. Every kid who slipped it on felt like a hero from the next century. And while the Power Glove gave games a flashy new look, another gadget was giving music an equally loud personality. Before Bluetooth speakers and Spotify playlists, there was one symbol of portable power: the boombox. In the 1980s, lugging a massive stereo on your shoulder wasn't just about listening to music, it was about making a statement. These things were heavy enough to count as a workout, blasting cassette tapes so loud you could feel the bass in your bones. Street corners became impromptu concert halls where breakdancers would spin to the rhythm of Run DMC and LL Cool J. The bigger your boombox, the more respect you earned, at least until your batteries died after an hour. Parents hated them. Subway riders rolled their eyes. But for a generation of teens, that boombox was freedom, volume, and attitude rolled into one. And while the boombox was loud and proud, the next gadget proved that sometimes all you needed to do was clap. There was something magical about the clapper. You'd walk into a dark room, clap twice, and boom, the lights turned on, another clap, and they shut off. It was like having a genie in your living room, minus the 3 wishes. Debuting in the late 1980s, the clapper made everyone feel like a tech wizard. The jingle, "Clap on, clap off," was stuck in every household's head. Of course, the gadget wasn't perfect. Dogs barking or thunderclaps could trigger it too, leading to some pretty spooky moments when the lights flickered on by themselves. Still, it captured the imagination of a pre-smart home generation. But if clapping your lights on was fun, imagine carrying an entire music collection in your pocket, or at least trying to. Sony's MiniDisc was supposed to be the next big thing in music. Sleek, shiny, and futuristic, it promised high-quality sound in a format smaller than a cassette and more durable than a CD. In the 1990s, tech lovers fell hard for it, swapping discs like trading cards, labeling each one with care. You could record, edit, and play with your music like never before. It was everything we thought we wanted, until MP3 players showed up and made the MiniDisc obsolete almost overnight. Still, for a short, glorious moment, owning a MiniDisc player meant you were living in the future. But while music got smaller and sleeker, travelers were discovering another pocket-sized miracle that promised to make the world just a little easier to navigate. Before smartphones could translate entire paragraphs in seconds, travelers relied on pocket translators, tiny devices that could turn English phrases into Japanese, French, or Spanish at the push of a button. They looked futuristic, like something out of Star Trek, but using them was often hilarious. You'd type in a phrase like, "Where is the bathroom?" and get back something that sounded like alien poetry. Still, for international travelers in the 1980s and 1990s, these gadgets were lifesavers, especially before Wi-Fi and Google Translate existed. They represented a dream of global connection, when language barriers could be broken with a simple beep and LCD screen. And just as communication went wireless, so did our phones, though those early cordless models came with antennas long enough to reach the moon. Before sleek smartphones fit in your pocket, the ultimate household upgrade was a cordless phone. No more getting tangled in kitchen cords. You could finally walk around the house while chatting. But those early models were far from subtle. The antennas were enormous, sticking out like fishing poles, and if you wandered too far from the base, your call would turn into static-filled nonsense. Still, owning a cordless phone felt luxurious, like stepping into the future. Families fought over who got to use it, and every hello came with the thrill of being untethered. It was freedom with a giant metal antenna on top. And while the cordless phone made communication portable, the next wave of gadgets would make everything portable, changing how we worked, played, and lived forever. Long before we could just type a word into a search bar, electronic dictionaries were the ultimate pocket-sized knowledge machines. They were small, silver, and full of tiny buttons that made you feel like a scholar on the go. You could look up definitions, synonyms, and even practice your vocabulary, all without flipping through a giant paperback. Students carried them in backpacks, professionals kept them in briefcases, and parents marveled at how something so small could store an entire dictionary. Sure, the screen was tiny, and typing on the buttons felt like pecking at a calculator, but it worked. For many, it was the first taste of portable digital learning. But while these gadgets fed our brains, another device was quietly ticking beside us every morning, keeping us on time and occasionally scaring us out of bed. Before smartphones took over our nightstands, flip-clock radios ruled the bedroom. That soft click of the plastic numbers flipping down was oddly satisfying and strangely comforting. The glowing numbers, the gentle hum of the radio, and the occasional static between stations made it feel like home. You'd set the alarm, fall asleep to soft rock or talk radio, and wake up to an overly cheerful host shouting the weather forecast. And when the alarm went off too early, that big red snooze button became your best friend. The design was simple, reliable, and somehow more personal than any phone alarm today. But as we rolled out of bed and into our cars, another piece of technology waited to make our morning drives feel like concerts on wheels. Having a CD changer in your car was the height of luxury. Instead of fumbling with discs while driving, you could load 6, sometimes even 10, into the trunk-mounted player and switch between albums with a button on the dash. It felt like something out of science fiction. The satisfying whir-click sound as it swapped discs was pure tech magic. Whether you were blasting Aerosmith or listening to a burned mix your friend made, it was freedom in audio form. Sure, the changer would sometimes jam or skip on bumpy roads, but that was part of the charm. Every drive felt like your own personal road trip soundtrack. And when you finally got home from that long drive, another gadget was waiting to tell you who had called and possibly aired your secrets. Before voicemail existed, the answering machine was your home's gatekeeper. A little box with a cassette tape inside, it sat next to the phone, blinking with either excitement or dread. You'd come home, press the button, and listen to the robotic voice say, "You have 2 new messages." Sometimes it was family, sometimes it was a wrong number, and sometimes it was a message you wished you could erase before anyone else heard it. The background noise, the nervous tone, it all told a story. Families would gather around to hear who had called, and prank messages became a mini art form. It was simple, real, and oddly intimate. And while answering machines captured our voices, another gadget made us feel like geniuses, right from our wrists. If you grew up in the 1980s or 1990s, owning a Casio calculator watch made you the coolest nerd on the block. With its tiny buttons and digital display, it was a marvel of miniaturized technology. You could do math during class, time your laps at recess, and even set alarms that no teacher could turn off. For kids, it was a fashion statement. For adults, it was efficiency on the wrist. The calculator watch represented the perfect mix of form and function, a glimpse of the future long before anyone imagined touchscreens or apps. Sure, it looked clunky compared to today's sleek devices, but back then, it felt like pure innovation. And that is what made the pre-smartphone era so special. Every gadget, no matter how simple, felt like a step toward a world we could only dream of. Two-way pagers were the ultimate way to send secret messages. They were small, sleek, and made you feel like a secret agent or high-powered executive, even if you were just sending "Where are you?" across town. You could type out short notes, trade inside jokes, or even flirt, all in glowing green text that scrolled across the screen. The little vibration in your pocket felt like a lifeline to the world. Teens used them to stay in touch without parents overhearing, and professionals swore they were essential for business. In reality, they were the first taste of portable communication freedom. It was instant connection before smartphones made it effortless. But while two-way pagers kept us connected, another invention gave us the power to create, and sometimes ruin, a perfectly good CD collection. When CD burners arrived, they felt like magic. Suddenly you could make your own albums, mix tapes, or data discs right from your home computer. The first time that drive tray slid out with a freshly burned disc, it was like holding your own creation, a personal piece of technology. You'd spend hours designing track lists, printing labels, and hoping the burn didn't fail at 97%. Back then, the idea of saving files or sharing music without a cassette felt futuristic. It turned ordinary users into digital creators, giving them power the record industry couldn't control. And while CD burners brought creativity to our desks, another bulky marvel was bringing entertainment to bedrooms across America. There was something magical about having a television and VCR built into one machine. The combo unit became a staple of bedrooms, dorms, and dens across the country. It was the ultimate lazy convenience. No extra cords, no confusion. Just pop in a tape and press play. From Disney classics to late-night movies recorded off cable, this little device made home entertainment simple. Kids used it to rewatch their favorite films endlessly, and parents loved not having to hook up yet another gadget. It was compact, efficient, and strangely cozy. The soft whirring of the tape, the glow of the screen, and that clunky eject button were part of the experience. But when you wanted to store your digital masterpieces or work files, one gadget promised endless space and delivered a fraction of it. In the 1990s, zip drives were a big deal. They were supposed to be the next evolution of floppy disks, sleek, high capacity, and perfect for serious computer users. With their chunky plastic cartridges that could hold up to 100 megabytes, people felt like they had a warehouse of storage in their hands. Designers, programmers, and students all jumped on board, convinced this was the future of file saving. But soon, those drives were replaced by USB sticks and external hard drives that made zip disks look prehistoric. Still, for a brief moment, owning a zip drive meant you were ahead of the tech curve. And as computers got smarter, another little gadget tried to make organization fit right in your pocket. There were electronic organizer keychains. These tiny devices had small screens, rubber buttons, and could store your contacts, appointments, and even little notes. Business people clipped them onto briefcases, and students loved the futuristic feel of typing reminders into something smaller than a pack of gum. You could set alarms, check dates, and pretend you were managing an empire, all from your keychain. Sure, the screen was hard to read and the buttons barely worked, but it felt advanced, like carrying a miniature computer in your pocket. And while these organizers tried to keep life on track, they were just another step on the long road to the ultimate device, the smartphone that replaced them all. Technology has come a long way, but those old gadgets still hold a special place in our memories. They remind us of a time when every new device felt like a small miracle. If any of these brought back that spark of nostalgia, drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more trips back to the golden age of tech.